Everything just changed for the Los Angeles Lakers as we approach the end of the regular season. Some shocking reports have come out surrounding LeBron James and an injury. We're going to break that down, but also discuss how this team has turned it around regarding a couple of different key aspects that are going to be huge coming down the stretch for this Los Angeles Lakers team. We're going to break all that down in this episode, folks. But before we get into it, if you're part of the 90% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable. If you're enjoying it, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, a ton of info and news to come to break down today for you all. And coming at you today, there's a lot of things going down. Obviously, the Lakers are entering the home stretch of their season, the final few games, coming off of back-to-back wins, a big game, a big win against the Houston Rockets there yesterday. And now we're talking about a couple of interesting reports that have come out. Now, we know the Lakers, LeBron James, all these different things. He started off a little bit slow since returning from his injury. And there's been some interesting reports, and we're going to dive into a bunch of different updates, as well as kind of the standings here. But there is a couple of different things I want to go over here. And this is very interesting. I want to start with this. Now, a couple of days ago, Kendrick Perkins came out and he said some very interesting things about LeBron James. This is going to play well into how things have changed for the Lakers over the past few games. ESPN analyst Kendrick Perkins didn't mince words when discussing LeBron James's health. LeBron James is not healthy, according to Kendrick, and that's what his sources say. I'm not making excuses, but he is not right. Perkins even claimed that his sources confirmed that LeBron was dealing with physical issues. Watching LeBron that night, it was hard not to agree with Perkins. He just didn't seem himself. And that's, of course, talking about the game against the Chicago Bulls, I believe it was, when LeBron looked a little bit rough. And obviously, since returning from injury, LeBron has looked up and down. He's looked a lot better as of late, including the game against the Rockets. But that aside, the fact that LeBron James, according to Kendrick Perkins, isn't healthy changes the landscape a little bit for this team, because they're now going to have to go out and do a bunch of different things, right? The playoffs is what matters the most. Now, whether they choose to rest all these guys is still up in the air. And we can think back to literally 3 days ago, on March 28th, when everyone was saying the Lakers were in trouble, the world was falling down, the ceiling was caving after they lost to, of course, the Bulls on a half-court shot, all those different things. Since then, the Lakers have not only kind of shut those guys up, but they have played extremely good basketball. We're going to dive back into the injury in a minute because it is a little bit concerning. But I want to go over a couple different things. LeBron James had a bunch of different comments lately. Obviously, he has his podcast back, all these different things. But I want to start on the full court passing. He spoke out in the full court passing, obviously talking about, Luka Doncic to LeBron James and vice versa, their full court passing they have on the go. As far as the full court passing, being able to run, I haven't had it since Kevin Love. It was different because Kevin Love was so good at it. Now with a guy like Luka, you can tell when the ball's in the air, he's already looking at the play. And that's one of the big factors going forward is the transition game for the Los Angeles Lakers. We all know that. And LeBron hasn't played with someone who can make those stretch passes full court with such precision since Kevin Love. Obviously, Kevin Love was very good at it, and now Luka Doncic is very good at it. But I bring this up because going down the stretch, when LeBron James is at his best and when he's healthy, specifically this season, and again, he's dealing with an injury, according to Kendrick Perkins, but when he's at his best, he is running the floor. He is playing great defense. We think back to the comment from JJ Redick talking about LeBron James's all defense, first team level defense, because of how good his defense was. It wasn't all first team level defense with his feet. And then when he came back from injury, he was slowing down a little bit. There were some rumblings about how injured is he still. We know Kendrick Perkins came out and said he's still injured. But with the way that Luka passes and the way that even this team in general has been playing good basketball as of late, this is going to be crucial for LeBron. And if he is still injured, everything's changed with the way he's played as of late. And again, he's not putting up insane numbers, but for age 40, he absolutely is. But the way that JJ Redick and the staff have been playing, heading down the stretch here, regardless of if LeBron is injured or not, it's going to be huge. LeBron is averaging 25 points per game this year. It's probably over with, bearing something crazy. 20 consecutive seasons at 25 points per game, a streak and record that will never be broken. Now, maybe he gets back to that 25 point per game threshold, but regardless of that, his durability is obviously uncanny. But regarding this season, right? Again, you look at this shocking report that's saying he's still injured. Not shocking in the sense of, I didn't expect him to come back and be 100% healthy. But Kendrick Perkins is trying to say he is actively injured and fighting through an injury. And LeBron is one of the most durable, if not the most durable athlete of all time. I think we can take what Kendrick Perkins says with a grain of salt here and really trust what LeBron James has been doing, because I don't think LeBron would return, especially for regular season games, even though they do matter, unless he was 110% healthy in the sense of he's not going to hurt himself going forward and that he's, good enough to play. And you look at the standings now, they are extremely tight. You are now a game back of the Nuggets, and you are 2.5 games back of the Houston Rockets. Now, obviously, the big thing here, the worry was for that 7th seed. Timberwolves have obviously fallen now into a play-in spot because the Warriors have been on an absolute roll since acquiring Jimmy. It is very intriguing now what this, both injury, assuming Kendrick Perkins is right with this, but let's say Kendrick Perkins is right and they have an injury, right? He has an injury that he's dealing with. Assuming that is correct, and he probably is dealing with something, how are they going to manage the games going forward? I think they're trying to get as high of a seed as possible because obviously you look at the play-in spot games, like the teams in there are very interesting. I think the Lakers match up well against a couple teams, not as good against others. We've seen them play really good against the Timberwolves in the past. They're a very big team. The Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden. It is a very interesting time of the year, and things have changed and clicked for the Lakers in the past couple of games, and they need to continue to run that. But I'm also hesitant a little bit to see, and I'm curious to see what you guys think down below, specifically regarding how they're going to handle both LeBron James's injury, but also the rest of the games regarding rest, because you look at a couple different things. And LeBron James spoke out on what makes the Lakers scary, especially heading into the postseason now. That's a scary thing for the potential. Myself and Luka will have the two best defenders every night. There's not many teams with a third defender, and that third defender has to guard Austin Reaves. We have guys that can play bully ball, but have the brain to manipulate the game. And obviously, kind of lost in this is how good Austin Reaves has been. He has been one of the reasons that when LeBron James was missing, the Lakers still floated. Now when LeBron James is back, you have a guy like Austin Reaves who can, if LeBron's 80%, whatever he is, right? He is now, in Austin Reaves, able to really step up and play alongside Luka fantastically, averaging 20 points a game this year. And they've been running a positionless lineup. Luka, LeBron, LeBron's made speaking out a lot, especially with this podcast, Mind the Game. You have Luka at 6'7", myself at 6'9", Dorian Finney-Smith at 6'8", Rui 6'9", Austin 6'5". There's no center out there, but we're long, athletic, and tough. And that's talking about their depth lineup. We've got to give Jackson Hayes credit as well, depending on the matchup. And that's why I brought up the standings. If they play a bigger team, like a team like the LA Clippers, for example, will they go small and play the small ball five? Do you trust Dorian Finney-Smith or whoever your small ball five is, Vando? I don't think that experiment is going to happen again, but maybe, depending on how things go in the playoffs, that is. Do you trust those guys to guard Ibaka and Zubac? Because Zubac has been dominating the Lakers in the regular season. Then you go up against a team like, of course, the Timberwolves. You don't have Karl-Anthony Towns anymore, but you have Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle, interesting lineups there. Everything has changed for the Lakers as it pertains to the way they've been playing and the way that these lineups look. You got to utilize the full court passing. You got to utilize LeBron James being healthy. With Kendrick Perkins coming out and saying that he hasn't been healthy, it is going to be a very interesting end to the season. But I just wanted to discuss that in this video because the report by Kendrick Perkins, that is a little bit scary, especially given the fact that we are now in the final stretch of games, but how quick the narrative changes between a very, the team falling from underneath them in a heartbreaking fashion, a heartbreaking game against the Bulls, to right back now winning 2 in a row, one crucial one against the Rockets. And heading down the stretch in this season, it's going to have huge implications going forward, not only for the playoff seeding, but how the health looks on the team. But that'll wrap it up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. We're almost at the playoffs. Thank you guys for watching.